Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel. So today is going to be a bit of a different type of video. I thought I'd sit down with you guys and actually talk to you guys about my past and how I've become the person I have today, because I have quite a large background story and one that I haven't properly shared with you guys. So I feel like this video is going to benefit a lot of people, and I feel like me opening up might get you guys to know me a bit better and also help you guys out as well. So let's get into today's video. So first of all, I wanted to talk to you guys about how I grew up and basically my family life as well. So I grew up out in like way out bush, like way out in Telebudra Valley. I had a really good upbringing. I had two loving parents, your typical, stereotypical family. Mum was a stay-at-home mum for a while and she got a part-time job. Dad was a carpenter, he was the breadwinner. I also have an older sister as well. She is 2 years older than me. So back in 2005, my dad was experiencing really bad headaches, and we always just thought, it was stress, it was like having his own business, he was working really hard, and yeah, he was experiencing a lot of headaches, going through a lot of like tablets and Panadol, and then he had a car accident. So that's where the alarm bell started to wake up for us, because the first thing that was going for him is he lost his peripheral vision, and so he didn't even see like the car coming when he had the accident. So then was rushed in for an emergency MRI, got a scan done, and that afternoon he came home with the devastating results of he only had 6 months to live. He had a severe terminal 4 tumor on his brain. So I still like remember the day that Dad pulled me into the lounge room. I was with my best friend Lauren at the time, and he pulled me in and sat me down and said, like, look, I've been diagnosed with a brain tumor and I only have 6 months to live. And at the time, like, I'll probably get upset because I don't really talk about it, but at the time it's like, how do you fathom that? Like 6 months is so quick to be like having to process all these emotions and knowing like, oh my God, he's not going to be around anymore. Like he didn't get to meet Jesse, he didn't get to see me get married or anything like that. So at this time, all of that was like starting to process, and it was really, really difficult for me to process at the time. Being 14 is like the age where, you're at school, you're starting to like find your feet, going through those hormones and, finding who your friends are and starting to rebel a little bit as well. Like my friends are going to parties and sleepovers, and I was dealing with my dad passing away. So the age of 14 was really hard for me because I lost myself so much. I didn't know who I was. I had to grow up really quickly. So much to say, it just feels like I'm going to be like stumbling over my words, but Dad got sick really quickly. Like I had to hold his hand through the shops. He was getting so skinny that his bones were coming out, and he was actually breaking bones because he was on so many steroids. I remember having to stay home from school one day because I had to look after Dad, and he fell out of the bed and he was banging his head against the sideboard table because he was having a seizure, and I had to just stand there and hold him and make sure that he was safe. And I remember him just vomiting all the time from the pain, and he was in and out of hospital, in and out all the time. We had so many surgeries that he had to go through, and he had stents put in his brain to drain the fluid, and I remember with that surgery, when he went in to get the stent put into his brain to drain the fluid, I was in the waiting room for 6 or 7 hours just freaking out, thinking like we weren't sure if he was going to make it. And I remember walking in an ICU ward, and I was standing there, and just this overwhelming emotion came over me that I saw my dad, who was like the father figure, the breadwinner, the strong, capable man in our lives, be weak and have food fed through his like tubes. And that was really hard, and it was so overwhelming that I remember looking at Mum and going, Mum, I don't feel well, and I just passed out on the ground, and the nurses came and got me. And at that moment, I feel like that was the time where my anxiety started. From then, Dad just began to get sicker and sicker, and I even remember after the surgery I went home and I said to Mum, like, I don't know if this is a horrible thing to say, but I felt like I wanted him to go at that stage because I just could not handle it anymore. Like I could not handle seeing him in pain, seeing my mum in pain and my sister. And my mum agreed with me. She said, I was thinking the same thing. Like, I don't know how we can keep going even though we knew there was nothing that we could do. And the thing that hurts me so much now is I remember what we were feeding him. We were feeding him everything that the doctors told us to feed him, you know, just crap. I was feeding him yogurts, I was feeding him custard because he was so skinny, we were trying to fatten him up. I was feeding him sausagen, like all the worst things you could possibly feed someone with cancer. Now I know now, but I feel like that's what's brought me on this journey as well. I feel like Dad's pushing me to look more into health and like help other people as well, and I feel like this is my life calling. I'm supposed to help other people and help other people with like anxiety and panic attacks, and you know, everyone goes through a hard time in their life, and I feel like I can help so many people just through my background story and what I've been through and how I've dealt with it all as well. I may be like emotional now, but I have dealt with so much and I'm so strong, and I know I'm such a strong and independent woman. So my dad passed away in 2005 on the 17th of October. He was in palliative care at the time, and I may remember walking out of the school, of my high school at the time, and Mum was out the front, and I just knew straight away. Like, she just didn't even have to say anything. She just started crying, and me and my sister just knew straight away, like we had to go straight up there and say goodbye to him. And I remember going up there, and I didn't prepare myself for what I was about to see. So the nurses pulled me into the room, and Riley, my sister, went and gave him a kiss and like said goodbye to him. But as soon as I pulled the curtains back, I literally saw a body which was a lifeless body. There was no soul, there was nothing, he wasn't there anymore. So that totally freaked me out, and I couldn't kiss him. Like, I could not kiss him goodbye. And now I know it wasn't me kissing him, it was me kissing his body. You know, I speak to him all the time, I know he's around me, so I can connect with him, I feel that way. So I don't regret that at all. It was such a hard time that I was going through. So fast forward a year after Dad passed away, I started experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder. So I couldn't sleep in my own bed. I had to sleep in my mum's bed every single night. I couldn't go anywhere. I had so much anxiety that I couldn't leave the house. Like, I was going to school, and my mum had to tell the teachers that if Amy needs to walk out, she needs to walk out, because she has panic disorders and all this stuff. So all my teachers knew like what I was going through. I didn't tell any of my friends. I became really isolated, and my friends were wondering like why I was never wanting to do anything. I kept to myself a lot. I was just hanging out with my boyfriend at the time because it was the only person I felt safe with and understood me. So yeah, I just ended up really isolating myself, saying no to so many opportunities, and just basically becoming a hermit and living inside my shell. And at the time I thought it was doing me good because I wasn't experiencing any anxiety. So as soon as I stepped out of that shell, I would just become so anxious, and I was crippled with this for at least 5 years. And anyone knows me, I was quite a bubbly person when I was younger, and then I ended up just losing myself, and I felt like I lost myself for so long. I can't believe I'm so emotional. I didn't think I'd be so emotional. I feel like I lost myself because I had to put on this mask every time I was around people, because with mental illness, it's not a scar, it's not something that people can see. So I used to put on this mask all the time to be like, I'm fine, and I used to drink a lot because I used to just try and mask it. And I lost the person that I was because I was trying to be this strong person and this capable person that at the time I felt like I wasn't. So I went and saw numerous amounts of counsellors, and they helped a little bit, but it wasn't until I started to look within myself and I started to take action and actually do work on myself and not seek approval or to seek help from anyone else. It was the time when I started to push myself outside my comfort zone. I started to try new things. Yes, it was scary. Yes, I still experienced panic attacks at the time, but it got easier. Every single time I took that step, it got easier every single time. So the main things that helped me was reading books, self-help books, listening to podcasts, meditation, just overall doing a self-healing. So the one person and the one book that changed my life was by LOUISE, Hey, You Can Heal Your Life. I read that book front to back at least 2 times just to make sure that everything was just distilled in my brain, because I felt like at the time I just had to rewire my brain because I was in such a negative headspace that I just needed something to be able to just change my way of thinking, basically, because I felt like over these 5 years I had rattled myself up into this negative ball and felt like that was the only person I could be and think, but it's not. It's just you have to unwind yourself, and it takes a long time, and that's the thing. You really need to be patient. It's no quick fix. It's not a pill. It's not just one thing. It's not just I read the book and then wow, I was magically cured. It's I read the book, I reading books, I started doing meditation, I started writing in gratitude journals every day, and I still do this to this day, because I feel like if you're someone who has a background of anxiety attacks or panic attacks, you need to constantly work on yourself. This should be a subject that you get taught in school, is self-help and healing, because everyone goes through something in life that they need to deal with. So many people are turning to drugs and alcohol because we're not taught how to deal with things, and there's so many suicides at the moment as well because people just don't know what to do. They're so lost on what to do because this stuff is not taught to us. You actually have to get off your fucking ass and you have to go and look for it and do it yourself. And that's the thing, no one tells you to. So if you are experiencing any panic attacks or have any type of like depression or suicidal thoughts, like, you can't seek help from other people. You need to be strong enough to pull it out of you and take it on and heal yourself from the inside out. And this means doing a amount of things, and you may fail at some things, or some things might not work for you, but how do you know unless you don't try? So I'm here today to tell you guys, like, I'm here for you. Leave some comments down below. You can private message us on Instagram. Like, I'm so happy to chat with you guys. I will also leave a whole heap of like motivational speeches, books, apps, so many things that helped me. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I got so emotional. Like, I didn't think I'd get so emotional with this video, but if you like this video and you want to see more of these types of videos of like me opening up and talking to you guys more about like mental health and anxiety, let me know down below. Give me a thumbs up for plucking up the courage to finally do this video, because I'm sweating. It was quite nerve-wracking to be able to do this and open up to you guys. So love you all so much. See you guys in the next one.
Morning guys, and welcome back. So I am currently on the Gold Coast for one more day.